Okay, I'm back. All right. So, I've decided that I'm going to budget an hour at the very most to this. I have done some farming just to streamline this process. However, there is well, actually, let's see here. How much money do I have? 2,000 or 20,000 G. Honestly, we're probably going to have to leave some side quests behind, but it doesn't matter because it's really only important to get all of them if you are attempting to do all the achievements, which I am not. This is not even my main Xbox profile, as you can see. The way the music cuts off here is just so threatening. Anyway, so we talked to this merchant a while back and gave him a bunch of goat hides and a bunch of things of rice. Let's see how this went. How'd the trade go? It was fine. Apparently he got seasick. Violently seasick. The smell in his cabin was unspeakable. Really wants to stay in the trading business, but he can't sail, so... But thankfully, he was able to recoup the costs. And so now we have an additional 10,000 gold. What a bummer. I like the mixing of those two completely disparate musical cues. Let me bring up a side quest guide just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Very professional this stream is right here. Okay. Side quest guide. Gonna use the IGN.com FAQ. Alright, now.
What a tremendous waste of our time.
Who knew the guy would get seasick? Maybe next time he can try finding work that doesn't involve the ocean.
Maybe next time you'll try sitting at home and doing nothing.
Okay, the other quest that we had just started is the pub owner here. The owner of this public house has gotten discouraged about his menu. Or maybe it's a she. I actually can't tell. Requested a cookbook, and the cookbook itself has a whole mess of, or the cookbook itself suggested a recipe that involves 5 shark's fins. It's basically the shark's fin risotto. Sounds completely disgusting. Doesn't even have a voice. Whatever. Let me know what you think. I don't taste the shark fin at all. And we got some gold. Well, that's great. Now, there are a couple of additional quests I can take. I think, in fact, I should be able to get one over by the lighthouse area. Should be happening right up here. That said, I don't know if I'll be able to complete it before the time is up. This is apparently the most easily missable quest since it's in such an out-of-the-way area. Anyway, this guy's in girl trouble. She appreciates the finer things in life.
Hey!
What? Okay. He had a quest icon above his head, but I don't think I got a quest from him. Did I? Nope. That is true. The camera in this game doesn't really autocorrect. I suppose it depends on your preference. Let's see here. I'm just trying to think of games with good cameras. Honestly, I'm drawing a blank. It's difficult to think and stream at the same time. That is the definition of the stream tax. Oh, okay. Mario Odyssey. Fantastic camera, yes. Or is it Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Or Oddworld Abe's Odyssey? You see, Jump Up Superstar can be a theme song for all three. It's a true fact. Okay, there are a bunch of shades here. Well, that's great. Over the same slot. Well, I'm great. I'm great at this. I'm fantastic. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. Well, whatever. I space out for just a second and this is what happens. Well, it's fine. Again, it doesn't seem like I've advanced anything too terribly. Gotta get that content. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a thing in the village that I wanted to investigate first, before I do anything else. Okay. This villager is looking for his son. Apparently, he left a note that said he was leaving, and not to look for him. Thankfully, he's identifiable by his hat. Yeah, sure. The runaway son. Alright, and that will just be happening in the background. I just smash these crates. Okay. I'm so embarrassed that I saved over the exact same slot after saying that I would... Oh. Okay. Alright. Now, how about we head over to the Forest of Myth and take care of those other folks? Thankfully, there are no quest givers to speak of in the area or anything like that, so it seems like the process of taking care of these side quests should be relatively simple. Yes, I've decided to play off the one slot thing as completely intentional. I like taking risks. Okay. I think slamming the boar into that wall dislodged the camera very briefly. Back into the Forest of Myth. Apparently people just live in tree stumps, so that's a fun little quirk for this area, for this JRPG town. And I believe we have 2 areas. Sadly can't go into any of these houses, see how these people live. Anyway. This must be another person infected by the Death Dream. And thankfully, it asks you before you want to actually go, or whether or not you want to actually go in. Okay. Gods, please don't tell me we have to go back in there. I'm no good at this mind game crap. I'd rather hit something in the face and be done with it. Okay. I breathe air scented with death, and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked under a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside, I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that seems without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes. An eternity slips by in the single tick of a clock. Someone knocks on my prison. "Hey! Anyone there?" I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior! I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. "Help me!" I cry. "For the love of all the gods, help me!" Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired man and a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. "Who are you?" I ask, shaking hands covering my face. "How have you come to this place?" "I am Grimoire Weiss. This is Tara. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together." The one known as Tara extends his massive hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are as keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear the rain again," I whisper. "Would that this were not such a terrible storm," said Grimoire Weiss. "Look at your feet." I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my feet and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. "Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know that you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place." Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds, and back again, until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead I do not know, and sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors. Well, let's see. I went north to get here, so I'm gonna go east. North again. Oh my goodness, okay. East, north. Let's go east again. At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. I just realized that those were absolute directions and not relative, so I'm going to keep that in mind for... Okay, well anyway. I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all of the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains, and this is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, I gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was punishment, though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridors. Okay, I went east to get here. So I'm gonna go north. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. "Break it down!" someone cries. And so, I give myself to the effort. In tandem with Tara and Grimoire Weiss, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled in front of the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west, I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. "How can I thank you?" I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. "Your dress?" asks Weiss. "Then you are a woman, madame?" "Yes, I am." I proffer the two a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing as how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Tara is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades. Anything to say about that? Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time. Alright. Anyway. So yes. Thankfully we got out of that one in our first attempt, because it's like there are actual fail states in that, and I wasn't looking forward to having to determine whether or not passages I'd already read were in fact already read. Anyway. Another victim. And take a sip of water. Yes, I will be entering this villager's dream. A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Weiss and Tara had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in. Hey, Weiss. We keep walking, but those things don't get any closer. I don't get it. Are they really that big? As Weiss considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity. Perhaps they are some manner of mirage, he said. Okay. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Tara nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they'd walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Tara lightheaded. Suddenly, he dropped to his knees and slammed his hand against the black surface. God damn it! He said. Is this some kind of joke? Well, I'm not laughing. The complaining had already begun. Weiss tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. Oh, come on! That's bullshit, and you know it! Possibly, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Tara glanced at Weiss's grinning face, cursed silently to himself, and resumed walking. As time passed, Tara's feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We are definitely getting closer, said Weiss, in an effort to cheer his companion. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, Tara lifted his gaze. Suddenly, he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing in the distance. Water! He cried. It's water! Water? Asked Weiss. Preposterous. I don't see any water. It's right there, idiot! Can't you see it? Look, the sun is reflecting off it. Without waiting for a response, Tara sprang to life and bounded toward the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Tara closed his eyes and sighed as Weiss floated up behind him, chuckling softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, he said. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. Tara shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait! There it is! I just missed it! Look, it's right there! Tara sprinted off again, leaving Weiss with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Tara came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour, until an exasperated Weiss finally floated up to Tara and struck him in the face with his cover. You damn blithering idiot! Stop this at once! There is no water here! Tara's face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much. Weiss paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art. Tara looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge! Cried Tara, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the last few hours. I've never seen anything so big. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected the light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. "What kind of city is this?" said Tara. "Where are the people? Where are the houses?" "Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use." The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Giant iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Welcome back, Fully Loaded. Right now, NieR and Vice are exploring the City of Art. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Tara and Vice eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Tara uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. "Finally, I was getting tired of modern art." The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As Tara moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. "Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies." With that, the bird departed. As if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. "Hey, look at that," said Tara. "They're alive." The triplets bowed low before Tara. "Please," said Alpha, "you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real." "Stop lying," said Beta. He turned to Tara and threw his hands in the air. "Alpha's a fake, you know. I'm the real one." "What a load of crap," said Gamma. "Beta is a fake. Beta is a fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here." Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. Okay, I'm gonna write this down on a notepad of some sorts. Let's go to this here. Let's see here. Beta insists Alpha is fake, that Beta is real. Let's see here. Gamma insists Beta is lying, and fake, and that Gamma is real. Okay. Okay. Only one of them could be the real thing. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth, the false ones will only speak lies. Okay, I have failed this and it sucks. So, let's see here. Alright, so let's see if I can actually reason my way through this, keeping in mind again that I am streaming and there is a mental tax. So, let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. Actually going to take the headset off, so the music does not distract me. Yes, that's right. Honestly, the truth here is I don't have a clue. but you are meant to actually reason your way through this. Okay, so, alright, so I'm gonna write down the opposite of these segments. Oh, so basically, the information given, as I've summarized it, is, okay, given the fact that only one form is real, the others are false, the real form will always speak the truth, the false ones will only speak lies. I have written down that Alpha insists he's real, Beta insists that Alpha is fake, and that Beta is real, and Gamma insists that Beta is lying and fake, and that Gamma is real. So I'm going to write down what these scenarios of Alpha true, Beta true, Gamma true. Alpha only insists that he's correct. Actually, I think. Okay. I'm going to assume that Beta is the true one, but I'm gonna actually do my best to set all this up. Okay. I'm actually, come to think of it, what I could do. Okay, let me. Gonna actually put my notepad on the screen just for kicks. So let's add a window capture here via OBS. Alright, notepad, and that is way too big, honestly. Let's just move this down here. If Gamma's true, then Beta can't be true. Okay. Alright, yes, that's right. If Beta is lying, then that means that Alpha is real, but only one is real, which means that Gamma is off the list. Okay, yeah. Honestly, fully loaded, full gold star. I think he got it here. So let's just say that Beta is it. I was all ready to do some problem solving in computer science things here, but it's honestly you've explained, or you've convinced me. So let's appease Beta here. Alright. The real one is Beta. Though Tara's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Weiss nodding at him. If Alpha were telling the truth, began Weiss in the dry tones of a lecturer, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar. Therefore, that theory crumbles. Now let us assume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with two statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense. Therefore, Beta must be real. As Weiss finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. "Congratulations, villager," said... Oh, sorry. Okay. Congratulations, villager, said Weiss in a cheerful voice. The time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Tara pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Asked Weiss. Have you been to the city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. But at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered Tara. It's just like that damn mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Tara during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind. Okay, that was terrible. Weiss insists he's seen that place before. Stop, I get enough foreboding crap from everyone else in my life. I call that a mood right there. But hey, all the villagers can wake up now. Let's go talk to the mayor and see what's up. Right here.
Hello.
I got the one-handed sword Faith. Let me just investigate my weapons here. Well, it's honestly not too bad. I mean, I imagine it upgrades very well. Right now I'm just using the Nameless Blade, even though it is not... It's not the ideal weapon, but it was easy to upgrade. Anyway, so that's taken care of. Those are side quests that I have finished. Alright, up next, let me actually go into my... I have a list of side quests I've yet to complete, and I'm pretty sure, considering it's been like 40 minutes, pretty sure I'm not going to take care of most of them. Yona's Gift, already taken care of, or rather, uncompletable, because she's resting in bed at the moment. Bon Appetit, taken care of also. Probably not going to do the Pride of a Lover. Just reading this out loud, even though it means nothing. Which means I have the Runaway Son, Fragile Delivery. I'll do the Fragile Delivery quest up next. And thank you, by the way, for solving that. Again, it might sound implausible, but there really is a tax on your mental faculties when you stream. Or in your puzzle-solving abilities, if you're not used to solving puzzles in front of an audience. Just in general. There we go. Cruise into the village. Done. Okay, I actually just realized I should head over to Seafront and see if I can take care of this missing son thing. I believe all, or just about everything else, is a quest taken from the city of Facade in the desert. So, let's see, should be able to finish that up. I don't believe there's any reason to visit Emil before the end of Act 1, or, like, mostly because in the context of the story, we just saw him. Yep. Okay. Alright, we're looking for somebody with a distinctive hat. And hey, he's right here, it turns out.
Yo.
Did you run away from home? And in response to that question, he goes, "Aw, man!" Alright. Let your family know you're alive and well, and explain why you left. What do you need? He doesn't need anything but fish. So, he needs some meat. Well, how about these 5 pieces of mutton and 3 pieces of goat meat? I have... Yep, there we go.
Hey!
The person running the tavern can enjoy this meat that I have already collected in advance for him.
Yo.
It turns out the tavern keeper has no idea who we were talking about in the first place. Let's see if the kid's still here. Not that it particularly matters. No, he's gone. He's left, just basically ran as quickly as he could to one of the other 5 areas in this game. By the way, we've seen basically the entire world map at this point. Act 2 takes place in these same locales. But there is a cutoff point. Many quests just become unavailable. Thankfully, we have this boar. The world of NieR is tiny.
Yo.
Okay. The son did not come back after we told him. Alright, well, whatever. Did he tell you an elaborate story and then ask for help? Oh, apparently he's a liar.
What's wrong?
How can a son bring so much despair to his parents? He seems completely ignorant of the pain he has brought them. It's deplorable.
I love it when you sound like a grumpy old man, Vice.
Perhaps I only sound that way because I have existed since time immemorial.
How old are you anyway?
You know, I'm not exactly sure.
They say memory loss is a sure sign of old age.
That poor family.
A parent wrote this. Again, there's an invisible wall up there for some reason. Huh. Okay, what else? What else is there? Is there an actual lead to pursue here?
Sup?
Oh, I'm talking to randos. This is a bad sign. What else? Where else could I look? Well, seems like I could have find it on my own, so let me double check this. Over here. By the way, when you start this, or when you look up the quest, the Runaway Son, it's specific, or the guide specifically tells you not to do it. Regardless, I am doing it because I feel like it's well, I don't know. I think it's interesting that a quest like this was put in the game to begin with, let's say. Okay. The lead that I'm looking for is directly in front of the town entrance. Okay, so he's in Facade. That's what I needed. Oh goodness. Coming up on the time limit also, so this is going to be great. The self-imposed time limit, but a time limit nonetheless. And honestly, like most of these side quests, basically the reward for you is money, which is not particularly appealing to me. I did a whole lot of mining, or not mining, but resource farming in the junk heap, which is more than enough for me. Or rather, it's provided enough cash to suit my needs for the time being. So once again, let's save. Over a different slot? No. The exact same slot. Always. One slot. Ride or die. And let's also take this subquest.
Hey there!
This card has a thank you gift for somebody in Facade. Fragile Delivery 3. I enjoy that only after you accept the quest you have the ability, or rather, only after you accept the quest are you told, oh yeah, by the way, this delivery is incredibly fragile.
You want to try your hand at this job, Kaine?
Are you serious? Hell no.
Hussies are only good for breaking things anyway.
Maybe I'll start with you.
Okay, thankfully there are invisible walls that prevent me from jumping off cliffs. And let's see if I can avoid wolves and scorpions and things like that. Taking care once again to not dodge roll. There's a wolf right there, heading directly for me. There are wolves literally everywhere, crawling across these desert plains. I seem to have threaded the needle so far. Try and not get noticed by them. Okay. I was a little panicked over the fact that I accidentally jumped when I wanted to open the door, but thankfully the delivery is not that fragile. So now we need to get to the weapon shop, and I just realized I have to navigate this staircase without taking any big falls. Or, like... Okay, well, let's see if I can use this service. Weapon shop, yes. Okay, that's good. And the weapon shop is right here.
Yo.
Beautiful glassware! And it's intact, too. Oh, what's the weapon shop needer? Or trader need? Apparently has a son that has gone into the desert by himself. Wants to become a true man of the mask. Alright, before I go, there's a thing I need to do. Okay. This guy needs a favor. Okay. Needs many wolf hides. I mean, I'll accept the quest, but I probably won't fulfill it. You're probably on your own there, my friend. Okay. Got an heirloom of some sort. I believe there's a, there's a quest giver around here. Needs watermelons.
Ew.
Okay. Item unknown. Okay. Round striped food objects. Well, guess what?
These rules are absolutely preposterous. We cannot even tell that person what we wish to purchase. Never in my life have I seen such foolishness.
Ah, it's no big deal.
Come now, this must bother you.
It does, but I trust they have a reason for it. Something meaningful that we just don't understand yet.
That is a very broad-minded thing to say. Are you feeling well?
That was almost a compliment. Hey,
Watermelons! Whoa. Also, I just realized I've been tabbing through text incredibly quickly. Anyway. 3,000 gold. Great. Alright. Gonna have to make some hard decisions here on how much of this I want to experience. Or show off on stream, rather. Alright, I have to check and see where that missing son went. Okay. I can't jump over this wall. There's a new outsider who came here, fleeing a terrible home life.
NieR.
Okay. So he's in a house somewhere nearby. Thankfully I have a guide that lets me know where this is. Why you gotta be all, like, following me and stuff? Whoa. Alright. He's fled the city. Okay, and just like that...
Does he really think she'll forgive him if he just gives her a fur?
It does seem somewhat materialistic.
Are you guys...
Dialogue for a different
If
quest.
someone gives me something for free, I'm happy as a pig in shit.
This world would be a great deal simpler if nothing but kinase lived in it.
I'll pretend that's a compliment.
Can I actually... There we go. Just wait for this trigger to continue. Okay? Oh, goodness. Alright. And there's a pack of wolves nearby. Alright, let's harvest these fangs, I guess. This is over here. There's another wolf there. Okay. Nice. We found the runaway son, so let's head back home. Okay, heading back into the village. Trying to think of how best to proceed from here. Whether or not I actually want to do the, or any of the other quests that I picked up along the way. They do involve missing people, and they are not clearly materialistic or anything like that. Which makes it seem like they'd be in character for NieR to do. Nobody's here. He left us a note. Thanks to your help, our little angel has returned to take up the family business. We have decided to move to a new land to begin anew and thoroughly train him to carry on the family name. They didn't pay me. The guard says, "Hey, are you friends with the people who lived here?" No. Because they borrowed money from everyone in the village and skipped town. Their son ran away because he wanted to escape a life of crime, but then some idiot brought him back. So, quest complete. Ha!
It's not fair. She's so young. Her whole life is ahead of her.
Side quests. Alright then. We're past the time, so let me just make sure there's nothing else I can do incredibly easily. Fragile Delivery 3. That's right, I have to report back to the client here. Not gonna collect 10 wolf hides. Screw that. Littlest Hero and the Missing Girl. Where can those be found? Oh, that's harsh. Okay, so what else? Now, there's way too much. There's way too much stuff to do, and we've already been at this side quest thing for over an hour. So I'm going to turn in Fragile Delivery, and I'm just going to say, hey, we tried. Gold star. And then actually finish this up, because I do essentially have a deadline. It's not a firm deadline, but I'd like to finish this up before let's say 5:30 or 6 at the very most. Anyway. Go-to guy. What does that give me? 10 gamer points for completing 30 quests. Hey, as long as some people know me as the go-to guy, I'm fine. Saving once more. Actually, what I could do to show this off is save in a separate slot, and then just, you know, just record myself doing those quests in my off time, and then post that on the channel just for posterity's sake.